Work relationships are the most unauthentic relationships. Yeah. Man, you got some boundaries. Woo! Today we are diving into the world of Reddit and what it means for relationship advice. Hey, if you're new around here, my name is Steve Harper and I turn ordinary connections into extraordinary relationships. How do I do that? I help individuals and organizations identify, develop, and grow the key relationships that they depend on for their success. And I can tell you today's video is gonna make my boys super cringe, right? Because they're like, oh God, Dad's on Reddit. Oh my God. He already spends enough time on his phone and his iPad and his laptop. Now he's gonna be on Reddit all the time. I gotta be honest with you, I had a good friend a couple years ago, real kind of cool, technical guy. And we were talking about something at lunch and he brought up Reddit. And I'm like, man, I need to get into that. He's like, nah, I'd stay away from Reddit. I'm like, why? He's like, well, it's where the really cool, geeky people hang out. I don't think that's your jam. What? I am the original geeky nerd guy, right? Anyway. Okay, so I listened to him and I didn't really pay much attention to Reddit other than I know the guy that started is married to Serena Williams. That's basically my extent of my knowledge. So we're kind of discovering this together. For those of you who are watching this, are like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy until I realized what a moron he is and he's not on Reddit. Oh my God. What have I been following? Please give me a second chance. Hey, I will do better. I promise. I will embrace my full geekness. I will embrace my nerdyisms. I will embrace my Reddit-isms. I don't know. Whatever. I basically got sucked into this and I started realizing after talking to one of my sons that there's like this whole subculture of Reddit posts, like kind of like generic kind of things that go out there, and then there's like this super cool subreddit, like different strains of, I don't know, like subject matters and cool stuff. I somehow figured out how to unlock that key, which really wasn't very hard because you just have to have a brain and actually pay attention, but you can find your subreddit. And I started looking at relationships and connecting and networking, and there's this whole plethora of crap that's out there that I thought was super fun. And so today what I thought we would do is read some Reddit stories and let me give some advice. You know, let's see if I agree or disagree or whatever, right? All right, so here we go. We got a couple today. This one is in the subreddit of Serious Conversation. And the title is, Work Relationships Are the Most Unauthentic Relationships. This is by Honest Bank 8890. Work relationships are the most unauthentic relationships. In society, in order to get ahead in your relationships, there must be a hint of manipulation. Follow me on this. I was having a conversation with a friend where they had given me some advice about how to navigate the world of The Office. Cue the Office theme. Down, down, down. Anyway. I'm the person who likes to stay isolated away from my colleagues. I do good work and then I go home. Sort of me. I don't gossip. Yeah. And I don't try to interact with my colleagues in a personal way, only a professional way. Man, you got some boundaries. But she said by doing this, you are hurting your career advancements. Even though people want to say, keep the work and personal life separate, they don't actually mean that. People have to like and have a slightly personal relationship with you, because with this, they can advocate for you behind your back and you can use your small personal connections with them as references in the future. Okay. But as she says this, I think to myself, I don't want to have a personal relationship with these people. If anything happened to them, it wouldn't affect me in any way. But for self-preservation, I have to pretend to care about your dog that just died or your kid that graduated elementary school. Woohoo! What is up with that? Like, we got like caps and gowns now we have to pay for freaking graduation of elementary? Anyway, I have to pretend to care so that you can pretend to care about me so that we can both live in a state of dislike. But you know, to advance our own careers, we have to pretend. It just tells me that in a professional and sometimes even a personal relationship, you must present a false identity of yourself. If you present your true self, that idea may not be acceptable and hurt you in the long run. Wow, life is really hard. This one was interesting. They got like 416 votes. I guess you can upvote, you can downvote, you do all this cool stuff on Reddit. I didn't even know. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna learn about it. And there were about 99 comments on this, right? So to me, that tells me this is a topic that a lot of people are thinking about. So D-Crates, that sounds like a great rapper name. It is unauthentic. It's a work relationship, not a personal one. The goal is to create a healthy work environment for the benefit of the group. It's not inauthentic. It's inauthentic in that people behave/communicate so that the work environment is healthy/cohesive and co-workable. 45 people upvoted that comment. There's a lot of comments underneath theirs, but I'm not gonna go into that. XOXO Curated Chaos says, I feel like this is very dependent on the type of work you're doing, your coworkers in the work environment. I'm making up my own connotation here. I've personally had good experience with making friendships at work. My very best friend was once a coworker. Having someone I was close to at work was so helpful on the hard and stressful days. But I've also worked at places where I felt I had to keep my guard up and walk on eggshells. I won't ever go back to that kind of work environment. Of course, they were working at a chicken farm. There were a lot of eggs. I don't know. They probably didn't have a lot of coworkers. There's a lot of chatty chickens. I don't know. That had like 24 upvotes and 6 replies. These are things that you're going to be able to see, go back and look at yourself. Hey, I don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just here. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit further on some of these. There's one by Google My Yahoo 75. Look at Japanese office culture. They show up early, then line the hall and bow to their boss as they arrive. Man, that'd be awesome. Steve's coming. All right, here we go. What? You, God of all. I don't know. Maybe that is a culture thing. They stay late and go out drinking until late at night with the staff. If you don't participate, you're an outcast. I don't know if that's 100% true, but okay. Yeah, fair. Here's another one from Elite23. I've always said that networking is just making fake friends that you use to further your career. Damn, that's rough. That is rough. Let's do one more. Okay. Cuckoo's Quill says, I think you sort of change depending on who the interactions are with, how, why the relationship started, and how it evolves, and depending on what your level of comfort is and how it continues and evolves. I think that sharing experiences, particularly new experiences with a person, opens up the possibility for a relationship to change. Like if you ever got to know someone for work, then you go drinking and go to their house, etc. It's interesting though, because remaining professional at work is easier than it sounds. I only got 2 upvotes and no comment. Well, no, 4 replies. Let's see what one of their replies was. But the thing is, I don't hate my coworkers. I just don't want to interact with them any more than I need to. I just don't want to be fake and give them a false... Oh, this was Honest Banky 8890 responding back to this comment. Okay, that's cool. I didn't want to be fake and give them a false view of who I am and what they mean to me. Opinions are everywhere on this, right? But let's be honest. You spend 80% of your waking hours at work. Let's think about that. 80% of your waking hours spent doing whatever it is you do for a profession. And if you happen to be around other people, coworkers, colleagues, support partners, vendors, people that provide services to your company, these are all people that you're going to interact with, cross paths with on probably the daily basis. Not to mention your management and leadership team, right? And then, of course, the most important people, clients. But we're talking about relationships at work. I look at these as very sacred opportunities to bridge really unique connections. There's been all sorts of studies about this. Gallup's like, 74% of Americans believe that they are disconnected at work because they don't have a close personal friendship. I think it's 75%, but I'm just going from memory here. Going from memory. Don't beat me up. Don't start some subreddit thread on how crappy the Ripple Man is. Please, that would suck. Although I probably couldn't find it, so if you did do it, I probably wouldn't see it. It's probably not gonna hurt my feelings too much. But anyway, I digress. Need a little bit of coffee here. In my Boba Fett cup. But the reality is, you spend all this time with people, and why would you not try to make the best of that circumstance? Listen, I don't think you have to be besties. I don't think you have to worry about like, hey, Teresa, who shares the cubicle with me, expects me to invite her over to the house for the weekend for the barbecue with the kids and jump in the pool and do all that. I don't think that's the case. But I think really if you have some distinct understanding of why personal connection, maybe not friendships, but personal connections to your colleagues is important. When they know a little bit about you and you know a little bit about them, there's an opportunity to build something of significance there. Now they may say like, this whole thing kicked off as inauthentic relationships. I think they're only inauthentic because you allow them to be unauthentic. Sorry, I said inauthentic, but they use the word unauthentic. I don't think that's the case. I think that comes down to how much each individual puts towards effort towards getting to know one another. Most organizations suck at this. They think they can throw us all in the sandbox and we're all gonna play and share the toys and get along, kumbaya together. Does not work that way. Let me tell you, it does not work that way. It will never work that way. You have to know how to navigate these connections at work, and you have to figure out how to align so that you can create as positive and as best environment as you possibly can have. And when I say that you spend 80% of your waking hours, why would you want to spend it with people you don't know, don't have any personal ties or connections to, don't have really that work friendship with, and you sit in a bubble? Like this person, I am the same way. I get more work done when I'm isolated, it's quiet. Days like this where I'm recording and I got my staff working from home, it's lovely, but it's also lonely. It's not the way to do work. It's not the way to coexist, because you miss opportunities to collaborate, you miss opportunities to innovate, you miss opportunities, like somebody said in one of those comments, right? You miss making those deposits with people who might have your back in a pinch. That might be the one that's get called into that meeting when everybody's like, okay, I don't have a list here. Let's just pretend I do. Okay, we're gonna go down the list here. We're gonna figure out which employees we need to keep and which ones we've got to lay off. And then there's this kill list. I don't know what that is, but this Steve Harper guy. Yeah. I'm thinking he needs to go. And then this other person pops up like, oh no, man, don't be messing with Steve. Let me tell you right now, Steve is the bomb. Steve gets more work done than almost anybody on that department. And let me tell you, he does quality work too. He is always asking for feedback. He's looking to be a bigger contributor to the company. I think we'd be really mistaken to let that go, because Steve made a connection with that guy. That guy respects him, admires him, likes his work. And when the moment arrives where they can say something, they do. That's what I think that commenter was meaning, is that you need to have people that have your back. I say this all the time in your professional network, right outside of your company, the people that you're connecting with out there in the world, both your personal and your professional network. You need to have people that will step up to the plate to help you when you need it. But also you need people at work that have your back, that will cover you, that will recognize when you're a little off, and they'll ask, hey, is everything okay? They'll have a genuine interest in who you are as a human. They look beyond the role and they look beyond the responsibility to actually look at you as an individual, as a person. And they come back and they say, how do I do what I need to do to build a relationship with this person? And if you're proactive about it, you're going to find more and more people within that company will rise up to do the same. Do I call those unauthentic relationships? I think that's a matter of perspective. I think really at the end of the day, you have to decide for yourself what unauthentic or authentic means. To their point, do I really care if their dog died? No, I didn't know the dog, right? But you can show a little level of empathy and compassion that somebody is going through a rough time, because dogs, cats, birds, lizards, some people got snakes. I don't understand that at all. Just keep that shit at home. I don't want to see it. Those are family members to them. And it would you have that same reaction No, I'm not throwing this back at you, Honest Bank 8890, but would you have that same reaction if somebody walked in tomorrow rather than saying my dog died, my grandpa died, or my dad died, or my best friend would die? Even the hardest heart people, I think, are going to, oh, that's horrible, because we immediately go to that environment and we understand, we can put ourselves in their shoes. And when you can do that, not only are you showing up as a good colleague, you're showing up as a good human. And I think that if you run into a situation where you feel like you don't want to get to know those people, you have no invested interest in them whatsoever, it's likely because they haven't showed any invested interest in you. I'll give you 2 pieces of advice. Change that attitude and give it a try and watch what happens, or leave that company to go find an environment where you'll be around people that you do want to spend time with and that you do want to engage with. They're out there. There are environments all over the place. I know my guys at my software company, they love it when I come out of my office and I'm just shooting the bull in the bullpen, because I take things I've learned about each of them and I will bring it up or start a conversation or maybe make a little joke or something, right? But it gets everybody out of their job and out of their role and responsibility for just a minute to actually engage at a really human level. It's about heart-to-heart connection, and it's about building real relationships with people who you depend on for your success. And let's be honest, you do depend on them for your success. If they all went away, chances are you're not picking up all those plates that are spinning, right? So you depend on them from a professional perspective to ensure that there's the future success of the company, which ensures future paychecks for you, which keeps a roof over your head, which keeps a car under your butt when you're driving, and keeps you moving forward in your career trajectory. Wouldn't it be important to just have a little bit of interest in those people? Just a little bit, to just keep the home fires burning there, right? Just to let them know. Because the greatest feeling is people that will step up to the plate, that believe in you and support you. When opportunities present themselves, they come back and they're like, hey boss, I think you ought to talk to Sally. Sally would be perfect for this role. Sally's got diligence. She's really good at problem solving. She is one of the best teams players that we have. Oh really? I did not know Sally was so good. Yeah, she is. And you wouldn't know that if I didn't say it, and I wouldn't say it if I hadn't gotten to know Sally. I wouldn't have gotten to know Sally if Sally hadn't made the effort or I had made the effort. But we did, and look what happened. Yeah! So, work relationships are the most unauthentic relationships only if you let them be. And if you do let them be, then you're probably miserable in your work environment and you're sort of reaping what you sow, okay? If you don't love the environment or the people you work with, change jobs. For those love of Pete, change jobs. Do something different and find an environment that will support you, technically love you, not in a romantic way, but in a you make a difference way. And people miss you when you're not there, or they know there's a little bit of extra spark because you're on the team. Give that a try and watch what happens. All right, I got through my first Reddit. I think if you like this and, it's kind of fun, we'll do it again. I got others. I found others. I'm down the subreddit hole, there's this big trail down there. Where do I go? I'm on the top of Mount Everest. Really, I'm actually at the bottom, looking up at Mount Everest. I'm like, how do I get up where the cool people are? All those cool, geeky people. I don't know. Maybe just making comments like this, doing these videos, this might not be a good move for me. I don't know. But it sure was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some value out of it. Hey, before I let you go, I want to make sure that you know you like this video. Smash that like button. That's what the cool kids say. Subscribe. Woo! I would love that. And you want to see every one of the videos that come out, every one of them that come out? Click that little dingy bell thing and it'll give you a notification through the auto magic of YouTube. And be sure to check out I've been talking too much. That could be a whole Reddit string right there. If you're really interested in my work, check it out at ripplecentral.com. You can see all sorts of links to my podcast, to my book, to our community, all sorts of resources for you just waiting. So I'm going to go dive back into Reddit and see what we see. let's just go dive into some more Reddit. I'll see you there.